distinguished guest on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. I take this opportunity as a privilege, and before I discharge my assigned duty, I would like to pay a few words about this Ramakrishna. I would like to pay homages to his sweet memories, and let us take this opportunity to remember the cause that he stood for. And so my subject is the Talibanisation of Kerala, and the text of the talk already you may went through it, and so I would like to highlight certain points in the stipulated time. So the Kerala, the land which protected the Hindu values and Hindu civilization from the very beginning of its history, particularly up to the early medieval age, the Bhakti movement under Nayanars and Alvars, and finally when Hindu values was in danger at the northern side of India, along with south, particularly of Shankaracharya, it was protected and highlighted and popularized all over India and reinstated it. Now, the Kerala tend to be as the cemetery of these Hindu values, or for example, the beginning of the early decades of the 18th century, the Hindu population in Kerala was above 85%. In the dawn of this century, particularly after the birth of Kerala as a state, Malayalam speaking state, in 1956, it was 61.5%. Subsequently, after 50 years, in the last census, it come down or shrink to 55%. Similarly, this is not only the percentageal difference, but the growth rate is also a diminishing manner. The Muslims, decadal growth of the Muslims was 17%. On the other hand, the general growth of Kerala is only 9%. Particularly Hindu-dominated districts, particularly of Pathanamthitta, there is a negative growth. That means very soon Hindu population numerically will come down, it shows. All this happened. The Christian population increased not of birth but of proselytization or conversion of weaker sections of Hindus. But the rate is nowadays very slow. Their interest was in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and UP and other missionaries. They are sending missionaries, recruiting from Kerala and sending to these regions, Orissa and these regions. Now, the threat from the Christian community in the numerical scenario is not dangerous. On the other hand, the Christians is using two strategies of mission of education and open-ended proselytism. On the other hand, the Muslim danger is very serious. The petrodollar, Hawala money, aggressive proselytism and Talibanisation is going on without any check. The blessings of political parties. And so Marxist party is have a cultural being in Malayalam that is Samskarika Nayanmar. It's relating to culture. These Samskarika Nayanmar or cultural magnets are always whitewashing the atrocities of these Talibans or Taliban sections. That I shall explain in the coming following text. So for example, I shall cite one example. One Javed, as a member of Lashkar-e-Toiba, he belongs to Kerala. His Purva Dharmam was Earlier he was a Hindu Nair. He went to Bombay and converted to Islam. And he was in the four-member team to annihilate Gujarat Chief Minister. He was shot dead on 15th November 2004. But this cultural madness exalted him as the fallen hero, and this incident the popularized as fabricated or that is a fake encounter. So they wrote poetries and all these things. The ordinary Malayalis believes too. But this Malayalis recently changed their mindsets, and really recent incidents that happened in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, and all over. 4 terrorists killed on the borders of Kashmir by our security forces. They all are Malayalis. Now you know, you don't worry if you hearing about a terrorist attack. No doubt there should have a Malayali Muslim, a Muslim from Kerala. So similarly, this process of Talibanization is started with the 1921 Mapla riots. But the Communist Party, because of its political interest, they have only intellectual wing. Congress has no intellectual wing. Congress is also on the similar path. They have no intellectual wing. They have only power wing. So that is why I am saying, always quoting Communist Party, Communist Party. They have systematic wing to study and manipulate things, particularly in the intellectual side. They given, it's a really communal rights, Mapla rights. They given a new interpretation. There are historians' interpretation that 1921 Mapla rights as an agrarian revolution. This was the beginning of the Talibanization, the forcible conversion. Poor innocent women and children of Hindu families were brutally killed. And so in 2005 February, Communist Party conducted this annual conference at Malappuram, the Swat region of Kerala. Swat, you know, recently Talibanized region in Pakistan. The Swat region of Kerala. They conducted in order to woo the Muslim votes, not through ideological education or ideological change, through appeasement. So they immediately declared the Variangunnathu Kunyahammad Haji, the notorious hero of the Mapla riots. He was in the charge of killing women and children and put in a well that is popularly known as Turkana. After 3 days of the suppression of this Mapla riots, one colonel reporting that the dying sound of people can hear from the well. But unfortunately, they crossed the level of life, about to death. That is why I ignored. So this man made us